Second Chance 2024. Once upon a time, there was an election. November 8th, 2016. Austin, Texas. Trump won. We lost. How? We liberals felt bone-deep defeat. And here we are again, resentful of our loss and anxious of our future. In turn, we belittle our nemesis mercilessly.
How dare he?
Here we are again with that sickness rising up in our gorge. The how, however, could have been known to me if I'd really paid attention. November 9th, 2016. Manor, Texas. The day after Election Day. I remember the very first Trump-like encounter at work that morning. A MAGA teacher with steely eyes of victory marched arrogantly down the hallway right past me with that side-look sneer. Or was I just imagining it? A week later, ICE checkpoints were nearby interrogating students. The following months, stories of uncles and fathers deported, tearful stories of broken families being shed by teens. Toxic dust settled on everyone. It wasn't just the liberal faculty's F this, F Trump mentality, but actual fear and loss. A student entreated me to put up her family in a hotel for the night to avoid deportation. Madness everywhere, especially the type reserved exclusively for the numerous immigrants. Legal or not, here we come. My black students fear the police more than ever. I remember 3 proud, strong black athletes standing in front of me looking shy, like little boys anxious about their futures after graduation. Be safe, I devoutly wished them as they disappeared into a wider America, somewhere. I was fortunate to be a white male and not carry the phantom of fear everywhere because my nightmare was still 1 or 2 dreams away, yet I could feel it through others, tingling on my edges. Has that 1 or 2 away dream now become my nightmare in 2024? I don't know. Will brown people take the fall for us like last time? Probably, but what can I do? I'm just a man.
Yes, you're just a man.
One unforeseen day, my family blared nationalism's trumpet directly at me during what I call the German incident of 23. My youngest brother and mother are undereducated, cult of personality types who eat processed MAGA meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all carbs, meat, and lots of sugar. No veggies, nor apple included. They scarfed up all that stuff like their very cells depended on it, while all along ravaging themselves and others. No one was safe from their appetites. When I texted my mother about becoming a German citizen, this had nothing to do with me wanting to flee the U.S. That may be next year, though. It brought the old witch's cauldron of congealed jingoism and envy to a stew.
Double, toil and trouble, fire burn, cold bubble, scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy mourn gulf, of the raven salt sea shark, root of hemlock, take in the dark, liver of blaspheming Jew, goal of goat, and slips of yew, silvered in the moon's eclipse.
At first, my mother tried to ignore my request for her INS card. She knew I needed to prove her German citizenship, which in turn would open the way for me to become a German. After a prolonged silence, I texted my youngest brother B, who I had housed after Katrina and had loaned $1,000 to start college. It was never to be repaid in kind. Instead, he cussed me out for bothering him with stupid crap that he had no time to deal with. Plus, why do you always come around when you need something? That's not how family acts. Boy, did I taste it then. Since my mother still hadn't responded, I contacted my second oldest brother, M. I had no idea that he had already been plotting with her against me for his own unmentionable stupid reasons. Em and my mother had been having meals together and had been dragging me through the raw sewage of their envy. You see, I was educated, retired, and had a Chinese girlfriend of all the women in the world. When I finally got her on the phone, she laughed in my face about how my brother had dissed me and cut me off. But it got worse. Em had been whispering into her ear something like, "He will come for your INS card and take it by force. He told me so." I mean, how could a mother ever trust me, an abused son? Wasn't I just waiting for my opportunity for revenge? I called her, and she answered.
Hello?
"Yes, it's Danny." She immediately whipped up a witch's fury and cursed me for bothering her sons. Her sons. But that was only one text, not harassment.
Now you listen to me, Danny. You leave my boys alone. They are hardworking and don't have time for you shit. And why would you ever want to be a German, Danny? Huh? America has everything. Germany has nothing. How can you betray America? Weren't you a soldier?
She said my name, Danny, with that same bitter taste in her mouth that I could now taste. It's kind of funny, but my mother never became an American citizen after living here for 60 years. It was I who was the American citizen, an Army veteran and retired educator of 23 years. I had served. Still, she had the ire to shame me. So I licked my festering wound again. I also found out from her during a fit of schadenfreude that they had called the police and told them that I was threatening to hurt her, and if I showed up, I would be arrested. All this over a copy of an INS document? Part of me was stunned like back in 2016. How? But the how could have been known if I'd kept paying attention, and I had begun to. I began to unravel the ongoing situation backwards through time. On the surface, it was coming at me unmitigated through Trump's blue-collar megaphone that they had borrowed for special occasions such as this.
And we will make America great again. Thank you.
You're retired not. So now you can spend all that money and travel all around the world. M has to work 60 hours a week, and B has to take care of his kids and work outside in the heat. And you, nothing but rest.
No, I am not blue-collar. Going much further back along the threads of our history, much of it could be traced back to me rebelling against her abuse, while being drawn to her archenemy, my father, the liberal version of Trump, through her conservative eyes. I had chosen the wrong party, so I took my beatings and verbal lashings until she couldn't intimidate me anymore. M, my brother, mocked me by text after that phone call with my mother. "You still hate your mother? Isn't it time to get over it?" This was coming from the son who mocked her by calling her the mother unit. It was never pure hatred, though, that I felt. It was tinged with a strange kind of pity. How could I feel anything but hate considering? That how can be explained because all of us humans have the wonderful capacity of healing ourselves and others in the midst of misery. Right after all that unprovoked nastiness, I found myself offering to help B, my youngest brother, take care of my nephews while he got a grip on his money problems. He ignored my offer completely. My help would be an embarrassment to him, a sign of weakness. Towards the end of that phone call, I had given my mother space to ask me how to heal from all her deep Nazi trauma. She told me about her nighttime horrors in post-World War II Germany.
My father came into my bedroom at night and beat me while I was sleeping.
I told her I would never request the INS document again if it triggered memories like that. Then suddenly that taste of putrid stew arose in my mouth again. She never once asked me about my son, who was suicidal. I broke down crying on the phone, telling her about it, and it simply didn't matter to her, like you don't matter to Trump, or any other politician for that matter. Yes, Trump knows how to harness our traumas and drown us in them as we pull each other under on his behalf. Enough. So instead, I leave recriminations behind and try to move forward in my life without them, family, politicians, phantoms, as well as I can. I may joke about my white swamp rat family from Louisiana or the esteemed Mr. Trump. I may even write stand-up bits or stories like this about them, but I rarely feel resentment anymore. I had to work hard to let go of all that residual shit. I realize that I, like my mother, like Trump, like you, are a symptom of a symptom in an endless chain of symptoms down to somewhere long ago, waiting to flood over us at just the right moment, like right now, fall 2024. Trump is offering us some Vicodin to ease our pain. He enjoys modeling the art of trolling to both sides of an imaginary political spectrum, and we all readily engage him and each other with teeth bared. Why not? He gives us permission to pelt each other with age-old hostilities and humiliations, face to face, to profile. He let the cat out of the bag. He opened Pandora's box. Or rather, he let us cats out of the bag and released us from Pandora's box, all up and chattering, all through each other, chattering. In fact, he's already baited us out to fight in his domain, and he has happily allowed us to stick him mercilessly with our verbal barbs. He offers himself up as your scapegoat, your punching bag, but in exchange, you'll never find yourself again. Only him, a monolith of a man who doesn't move. Build his tower, build his wall, but by all means, build him a statue. I once had an unbelievable dream with Donald Trump as my conversation partner. We chatted about this and that, and he was quite witty and charming. I found myself no longer able to hate the man. His blunt veneer had sprung a leak. I realized that he's not unlike us in a core way. His self-doubt, though, is turned up to a presidential volume. He has made himself unable to deal out that magical boyish charm, so he continues to misdeal or tuck away the ace of spades for himself, like a child hiding a cookie. He has defeated himself. He's the only one who can, as it turns out. In that way, he's a genius and a fool. My core wisdom, which I too routinely ignore, reveals that he and his followers aren't really my enemies like some of my liberal friends exhort. Why are you creating enemies for me? I should ask them. Followed up by, can hating Trump really rid us of hate? It seems like bad math or bad cooking to me. Add more salt to make this stew less salty. But anger feels good, right? Feels right. It blots out our hot shame for an instant with its flip side partner, cold pride. The heaviness of all these dualities weigh on us. Republican-Democrat, China-US, man-woman, pride-shame. We turn simplistic either-or thinking into something that becomes stupidly unsolvable. Hey, let's eliminate evil, as if that won't also eliminate its intimate partner, good. We try so hard to rid ourselves of either-or or either. I'll let you simmer on that one. Yes, we try so hard to rid ourselves of either-or or either. Sorry, it's not possible. But there is a way to cut this knotted cord. Once upon a time, my ex-wife, T's family members, were ultra-conservative, devoutly religious, and seemingly everything that T and I were not. Yet we were a family as long as it lasted. We opened Christmas gifts and went on Halloween hayrides together. We laughed. We somehow managed never to speak of politics in order to uphold each other's dignity. We wisely avoided what on the surface appeared to be irreconcilable differences. Once voiced, they probably would have been. Why do we complicate things when simple, gentle human contact can guide us infallibly to true victory? At the time, I was a liberal agnostic Buddhist vegetarian, and my ex-wife was a hippie devout Buddhist vegan. Yet we all held hands around the Republican Christian cattle rancher dinner table and said, Amen. There was love too, and vegetarian food cooked especially in our honor. So now it's time to vote again, my friends. We will call it Second Chance 2024. On the ballot are A. You help us drown. B. You help us swim. C. Fill in your candidate here. But before you vote, ask yourself how it could happen. If you pay attention, then maybe you're ready to vote.
But all maturity aside, fuck these Nazi